influenced by Shirley Lee, is paying dividends for the people of Taiwan, you see. We had a session earlier today talking about how think tanks can be effective. And in fact, I think today we've seen a great example of that. And we are, I hope you've been inspired by your recovery and your involvement with it, your founding of it, but also we are inspired by you. I was particularly impressed, and I say that in the strict dictionary definition of the word, really impressed by your policy on innovation and science and your commitment to that as a key driver of economic growth. It's very close to my heart. When I was PM in Australia, that was the first big economic policy I launched in 2015, an innovation and science agenda. And as you know, in Australia, we're big exporters of minerals and energy, including to Taiwan. But I made the point then, and I think it's still valid, that the only boom that you can be certain can continue forever is an ideas boom, because there is no limit on human ingenuity. I mean, you will run out of minerals, or you can run out of demand for certain minerals. But as long as people continue being thoughtful, innovative, creative, you'll always have an ideas boom, and that is what Taiwan's success and economy is built upon now more than ever. In fact, in this country, and in fact indeed in this room, we're joined by some of the people who have actually found builders of the modern digital economy. We heard from Stan Scher earlier. I mean, Stan, and we had from MK Tsai earlier, the founder of MediaTek. We've heard from Lynette from TSMC. I mean, these companies, these creators, these engineers have built, in large part, the world, the modern digital world, which we are living in and working with today. So it is Australians like to say, we always like to say we box above our weight. I don't think there's any country in the world that boxes more above its weight than Taiwan does, and I really salute you, and just want to say how much I've enjoyed being here today, or over the last few days. My first visit to Taiwan. I've been invited before and participated virtually because of the pandemic, but it's wonderful to be here in future. Your remarks, your warning, I guess, your caution that we should be prepared for danger in times of peace is a very, very wise one, and everyone should take note of that. Or as Margaret Thatcher said, expect the unexpected. It's really the one thing that you can be sure of is that you're going to be dealing with unpredictable challenges. I was really impressed too by what you were saying about demography and your policies to provide a more affordable and wider access to childcare. That was a feature. In fact, every single Australian government, including mine, has increased access to childcare. It's a reality that those societies that have the most affordable childcare and the most flexible workplaces, family-friendly workplaces, have the highest birth rates. I mean, that is why it seems like a paradox to many people, but in Europe, the thoroughly secular Northern Europe, with very generous childcare services and a flexible workplace culture, has much higher birth rates than the more conservative and, if you like, religious Southern Europe, like Spain, Italy, Greece, and so forth. So you're absolutely on the right track there, and your policies are informed by global experience. So commend you on that. I want to join Shirley in thanking all of the participants in the discussions we've had today, whether we're talking about the health administration in Singapore, Hong Kong and Malaysia. It's been enormously insightful. The discussion, Chairman Lim's very wise remarks about continuing education. I can understand why your cabinet submission It wasn't very well received. But you weren't here for this, I think, Mr. Prime Minister, but Chairman Lim said that years ago he had been asked to do some work on continuing education, and they concluded that to do it properly, the government would need to spend every year for every person about as much as what they'd spent on them when they were actually school students. And so you didn't need to have a computer, or you could even do the maths on your fingers. You can just imagine the cabinet ministers thinking, "Gosh, what's that going to cost?" And what's that? turning pale. I've had a few discussions like that myself. I know the feeling, but anyway. But you're right. You're fundamentally right. And again, this is all part of the challenge of resilience, because the point being that we don't know what the future holds. It is literally unpredictable. And what we have to build into our societies and our businesses and our countries is the flexibility that comes from having optionality, because we literally don't know which way to jump. We've got to make volatility our friend. That's the reality. We've got to be. When I used to talk about this in Australia, coming from a surfing nation, I used to say that we can't be like King Canute, who tries to turn back the waves. We've got to be like a really good surfer who sees a big wave coming and works out how to catch it and ride it into the beach. So that's the key. Resilience is the key. That's been the focus of our discussions. I think it's been a very, very positive and creative discussion today. I believe that the foundation of Capri in Taiwan is of enormous importance. I think Taiwan's experience is of immense importance in our region. I think we talk a lot about Taiwan, if I may say so, but we don't hear enough from Taiwan. And I think Capri's ability to share and integrate Taiwan's experience, which is remarkable. It's an experience of remarkable success in very difficult circumstances. I think that is going to be of great benefit to the rest of us in the region. So thank you, Prime Minister, and thank you, Shirley, and thank you all the participants. It's been a really great conference, and I've been so delighted to have been here today and have the honour of opening and closing the day's proceedings. Thank you very much.